They say the devil doesn't make deals, he takes what he wants. But when your daughter's life is the currency, you'll walk straight into hell and ask him to negotiate. Elena Cortez's hands shake as she aims a borrowed pistol at the most dangerous man in Chicago. Vincent Salvatore doesn't even flinch. Behind his mahogany desk, surrounded by men who've killed for less than this intrusion, he simply steeples his fingers and waits. She has 60 seconds to explain why she's still breathing. 60 seconds to convince a monster to save an angel. Her daughter Maya, bright, beautiful, 16, vanished from their apartment building 48 hours ago. The police filed a report and forgot her name. But Elena found a matchbook in Maya's room from Salvatore's club, and she knows the trafficking ring operates in his territory. She knows things the cops refuse to believe. And she knows that in this city, there's only one kind of justice that actually works. The kind you can't find in a courtroom. The kind that costs everything you are and leaves you something you never wanted to become. But Maya is worth it. Maya is worth anything. Hit that like button and drop a comment telling me what city you're tuning in from and the part that caught your attention. I want to see how far this story travels. Now let's begin. 48 hours. That's how long Elena has been living in a nightmare with her eyes open. The detective barely looked up from his paperwork. Another runaway, he said. Teenage girls do this all the time, he said. She'll come home when she's ready. But Maya wouldn't run. Maya had college applications spread across their kitchen table, scholarship essays with her careful handwriting filling the margins. Maya had everything to stay for. Elena found what the police refused to see. The men in the gray sedan, parked outside their building 3 nights running. The expensive matchbook from Emerald, Salvatore's club, where girls like Maya would never go. And Maya's friend Jasmine, who whispered about a modeling scout before her mother dragged her away, terrified. Elena has worked emergency rooms for 15 years. She knows the dead eyes of girls pulled from shipping containers. She knows the statistics, 72 hours before they're moved, sold, erased. She remembers the enforcer she'd stitched up last month, high on painkillers and loose with words. Nothing happens in Salvatore's territory without his blessing or his blood. The gun feels wrong in her purse. Everything about this is wrong. But Maya is running out of time, and Elena is done asking permission to save her own daughter. Vincent's eyes are cold arithmetic, calculating whether she's worth the bullet or the conversation. Elena forces herself to breathe, to speak without her voice breaking. She tells him about Maya, about the matchbook, about the men who watch and wait like vultures circling prey. Something shifts in his expression when she describes the operation's signature, the modeling scout story, the promise of money, the efficiency of the snatch. Volkov, he says, and it sounds like a death sentence. Elena doesn't waste the opening. She pulls folded papers from her jacket, hospital intake records she shouldn't have copied, showing patterns the ER staff whispered about but never reported. Broken bones from Volkov's warehouses. Locations the police claimed to investigate but never raided. She's been documenting for months, not knowing why until now. Vincent nods slowly. His enemy is funding expansion with children's bodies operating in his territory like an infection. 2 birds, 1 blood-soaked stone. You walk through this door, he says quietly. You don't walk back out the same woman. That badge you wear, that clean conscience, they burn. Understand. Elena thinks of Maya in a cage and meets his eyes. I understand. He calls for Marco. The hunt begins. The warehouse smells like rust and fear. Marco moves through shadows like he was born in them, and Elena follows, her heart hammering against her ribs. Vincent's intelligence said this was it, a holding facility, active, occupied. But the cages are empty. Elena's knees nearly buckle. Then they hear it. Crying, muffled, coming from a storage room. A boy, maybe 14, chained to a pipe. His eyes go wide with terror when he sees them. Marco cuts the chain while Elena checks him for injuries, her nurse instincts overriding everything else. The girls, she whispers. Where are the girls? Moved yesterday, the boy stammers. The pretty ones, premium, they said. There's another place, nicer, where they keep them for, he can't finish. Footsteps echo outside. Marco's gun appears in his hand like magic. 2 guards enter and Marco moves. 3 shots, surgical, efficient. They drop without ever knowing what killed them. Elena stares at the bodies, ball rising in her throat. But Maya is alive. Somewhere. The boy is shaking. "Officer Chun," he whispers. "He brings them. He's a cop. Nobody believes us because he's a cop." Marco radios Vincent. The picture gets darker. Vincent spreads the photographs across his desk like a hand of cards. 3 police officers, a CPS caseworker, a family court judge. All on Volkov's payroll. All creating a pipeline that swallows children whole. "This is why your report disappeared," he says. "Why nobody called you back. Why girls like Maya become ghosts." Elena's hands clench. She trusted the system, believed in procedures and protocols. Meanwhile, the system was hunting her daughter. "My source confirms Maya's alive," Vincent continues, his voice low and steady. "Being prepared for auction. 3 days. International buyers. Wealthy men who pay premium for American girls." The room tilts. Elena grabs the desk edge, her vision tunneling. 3 days. Prepared. The clinical words hide horrors she's seen in hospital beds, broken girls who never quite come back. Vincent's hand covers hers, unexpected grounding. "We'll find her before then. I promise you." She believes him because she has to. Across the city, Officer Chen makes a call. He's heard whispers, seen Vincent's people asking questions. The heat is coming. Volkov listens and gives the order, move the merchandise to the compound. Now. Maya's timeline just collapsed to hours. "No."
Steady now.
Vincent
Deep
says
breath.
flatly.
Got it.
Fire.
"You're not coming." Elena
How was that?
plants her feet.
Good.
"A
Again.
building full of terrified girls, and you're sending in men with guns?" "I'm the only one who can identify Maya quickly. Every second counts." He studies her, then nods once. "Then you learn to survive." In the basement range, Vincent teaches her the weight of killing. How to breathe through the recoil. How to aim for center mass because hesitation gets you dead. His hands guide hers, steady and patient. "My sister Sophia," he says quietly, loading another magazine. 17 when they took her. "I found her 3 weeks later in a canal." Elena's throat tightens. "Maya's father used to." She stops, starts again. "He left bruises where uniforms would hide them. I thought leaving him was enough to keep her safe." "Safety's an illusion," Vincent says. "Protection is what you're willing to do when the illusion breaks." At 11, Elena calls the hospital. Quits. Burns the bridge back to her old life. Vincent checks her vest one last time. "After tonight, you carry this forever. The weight doesn't fade." "I know," Elena says and means it. The compound erupts in gunfire and shouting. Elena follows Marco through smoke and chaos, her heart a war drum in her chest. Down concrete stairs, through a steel door kicked off its hinges, into a basement that smells like despair. 20 girls in cages, 20 pairs of hollow eyes. Elena searches every face, her breath coming in gasps. Maya isn't here. The world stops. Elena's knees hit concrete, and somewhere far away she hears Marco on the radio. "Volkov, move them. The yacht, harbor, now." Vincent's voice crackles back. 30-minute lead, maximum. "I'm calling it in." They run. Behind them, Vincent's men are opening cages, wrapping blankets around shaking shoulders, calling ambulances from burner phones that will be destroyed before dawn. Even in this, especially in this, Vincent has rules. The girls will be safe. Anonymous tips will guide them home. Elena sees it then. The monster everyone fears operates by a code the system abandoned. He keeps promises the law won't make. At the harbor, a seaplane sits on dark water, engines already whining to life. Maya is on that plane. Elena can feel it in her bones. "Move!" she breathes, and runs toward the water. Gunfire splits the night air. Vincent's team spreads across the dock, muzzle flashes lighting the darkness like lightning. The seaplane's propellers scream, water churning beneath its floats. Then Elena sees her. Maya, stumbling, being dragged up the boarding stairs by a man in an expensive suit. Volkov, something ancient, and feral tears through Elena's chest. No thought, no training, just a mother watching her child being stolen. She breaks from cover and runs. "Elena, no!" Marco's shout is distant thunder. He pivots, laying down covering fire as Elena charges across exposed dock like fury given flesh. She hits Volkov at full speed, both of them crashing onto the stairs. Elena claws, bites, fights with everything she's never been. Volkov's fist catches her temple, and the world tilts, but she doesn't let go. Then cold metal presses against her skull. Volkov hauls her up, arm around her throat, gun to her head. "Mom!" Maya's scream is broken, drugged, desperate. Vincent's rifle is trained on them, but the angle is impossible. Elena's body shields Volkov perfectly. "Let her walk to the plane!" Vincent calls out, voice steady as stone. You get passage. She lives. Volkov drags Elena backward toward the plane, gun barrel grinding against her skull. Maya sobs inside the aircraft, reaching through the doorway with desperate hands. 3 steps from the boarding stairs, Elena remembers Vincent's voice in the basement range. "Drop your weight. Create the opening." She goes limp, dead weight pulling downward. Volkov stumbles, his grip loosening for a heartbeat. Vincent's shot cracks through the night. Volkov's shoulder erupts red, and his gun tumbles from his hand. Elena lunges for it, fingers closing around cold metal. Volkov roars, diving at her with animal fury. No thought, just instinct. Elena pulls the trigger. The sound is thunder and silence at once. Volkov's eyes go wide, shocked, as he crumples backward into dark water and disappears. Somewhere behind them, Officer Chin runs. FBI agents swarm from shadows, Vincent's insurance policy, evidence fed to clean hands for weeks. Maya crashes into Elena's arms, and they collapse together onto blood-stained wood. Safe, alive, together. But Elena can't stop staring at her hands. Shaking, smoking. She killed a man, ended a life, crossed a line drawn in someone else's blood. The nightmare is over. A different one has just begun. 2 weeks later, Elena watches Maya sleep in the next room of an apartment she didn't choose but desperately needs. Security cameras cover every angle. Armed guards rotate shifts in the lobby. Vincent's building. Vincent's protection. The FBI dismantle Volkov's network. 3 officers arrested. The judge disbarred. 26 children returned to families. The headlines call it a breakthrough. Elena knows it was something darker. Self-defense, the report said. Justifiable homicide. Her hands were washed clean on paper. But she still sees Volkov's eyes in her dreams. Vincent arrives with groceries and an envelope. College fund, he says, calling it an investment. Then an offer, coordinate victim services for his anti-trafficking operations. Use her nursing skills differently. Save lives from inside the shadows. Elena accepts because she understands now. Some battles can't be won with clean hands. Maya appears at the window as Vincent's car pulls away. Is he one of the good guys? Elena considers the man who kills but also saves, who breaks laws but keeps promises the system won't make. I think he's like us now, she says slowly. Somewhere in between. The old Elena died at that harbor. This new one, forged in fire, bound to shadows, is unbreakable. They survived. That will have to be enough. Thank you for staying until the end. Subscribe now and go watch the next video.